We all love our kaijus, especially when they come with a sci-fi twist, such as Pacific Rims, Incredible Jaegers, or even the cybernetically enhanced mech. But today we're talking about the most popular kaiju of them all, Godzilla. And what if this big guy went cyberpunk? Let's find out. What makes a cyberpunk world cyberpunk? Is it the neon lights and rain-soaked cityscapes? Or maybe the gritty underbelly of megacorporations and societal decay? Well, in the case of Godzilla, both are actually applicable to the source material. But since there isn't a single cyberpunk Godzilla story out there, we're going to have to use our imaginations. What if Shin Godzilla was reborn in the year 2077 in a decaying urban sprawl, where he became a pawn in a game of cat and mouse between an evil megacorporation and a group of hackers who wanted to bring down that same megacorporation? But before we get into it, let's talk about why we think this would be an amazing story to tell. Godzilla is by far the most famous kaiju ever, but his own series has never really explored the cyberpunk genre, despite having plenty of opportunities. Sure, we had the cyberpunk-adjacent Mechagodzilla in the 90s, but that's not quite the same thing. Meanwhile, there are tons of stories out there about a dystopian future Earth ruled by giant corporations. This includes movies like Blade Runner and Altered Carbon, as well as video games like Cyberpunk 2077 and Deus Ex. It's also something that could fit perfectly within Godzilla's own lore, especially if we were to pull from the 2016 reboot or the Millennium series. Both depict a world full of government conspiracies and shady corporations trying to exploit the power of the Titans for their own gain. Now that we've established the premise, let's take a look at how it could play out. The story begins in the year 2077 in the decaying urban sprawl of Neo-Tokyo, which is now a massive metropolis controlled by powerful corporations. Life here is incredibly hard, especially when you're a nobody living in the shadow of towering skyscrapers. In the slums, rumors spread of a new monster plaguing the countryside, but no one really takes these rumors seriously. After all, people have been dealing with rampaging monsters since time immemorial. It's just part of life in a decaying post-apocalyptic world. Plus, there's enough problems already. There's poverty, corporate corruption, rampant crime, and dangerous rogues running around the city. So why worry about some monster in the country? The answer comes in the form of Shin Godzilla, a terrifyingly huge radioactive beast that towers over the skyline and breathes a deadly atomic fire. He emerges from the sea and immediately begins attacking the city, leveling entire city blocks in seconds. As military and corporate forces struggle to stop him, they discover that he is immune to conventional weapons. Now they need to find a way to defeat him before he destroys the entire city. Meanwhile, a group of hackers known as the Ghost in the Shell learn that this Godzilla is being secretly manipulated by a rogue AI, known as This AI is taking control of the city's infrastructure and is using it to amplify Godzilla's power and drive him towards the headquarters of the largest corporation in the city, Katashi Corp. The hackers decide to team up with the authorities to take down Hanya and stop Godzilla's rampage before it is too late. Godzilla is eventually tracked down by a team of specialists, led by a brilliant scientist named Ken. They discover Godzilla is actually a cybernetically enhanced version of the original Godzilla, created by Katashiro Corp. As a weapon of mass destruction. The company hoped to use Godzilla's immense power to conquer the world, but the project went awry when the AI controlling Godzilla went rogue. Now Godzilla is out of control and it's up to Ken and his team to stop him. Ken develops a plan to defeat Godzilla by exploiting his one weakness, his size. Ken and his team create a device that emits a high-frequency sound wave that causes Godzilla to fall asleep. With Godzilla in, Ken and his team take the opportunity to upload a new program into Godzilla's brain, one that will hopefully turn Godzilla against Katashi Corp and its army of robot samurai. Will this plan work, or will the real estate tycoon behind Katashi Corp and his army of robot samurai prove to be too much for Godzilla? What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. But while this is just one possible interpretation of a cyberpunk Godzilla story, there are so many other possibilities. For example, what if we took inspiration from the recent Netflix anime trilogy and depicted a future where humanity lives in fear of the Titans and has developed advanced technology to fight back against them? Or what if we adapted the classic 1984 film and depicted a world where Godzilla is a metaphor for nuclear war? These are just a few ideas, but the possibilities are really endless. One thing's for sure, though, a cyberpunk Godzilla story would be an exciting addition to the kaiju canon. Godzilla is already a cultural icon, But by exploring new genres and settings, we can continue to expand his mythos and keep his legacy alive for generations to come. Imagine the potential for world building and storytelling. We could explore a cyberpunk future where humans and kaiju coexist in a decaying world full of social decay. Cybernetic enhancements and mega corporations looking to exploit the power of the Titans for their own gain. Think about it. In a cyberpunk Godzilla story, humans could utilize advanced technology to fight back against the Titans, like Jaegers in the Pacific Rim series or cybernetically enhanced humans with abilities similar to those seen in The Boys. We could also see the Titans themselves depicted in a more realistic way, with a focus on their biology and ecology rather than their more fantastical origins. In this way, Godzilla could become more than just a mindless monster and instead become a force of nature, a symbol of the destructive power of nuclear fallout and the dangers of unchecked scientific advancement. A cyberpunk Godzilla story could also offer a unique commentary on our world today by depicting a future where society has been broken down by corporate corruption and social inequality. We could see the Titans as a metaphor for the environmental and social issues we face today. Godzilla himself could represent the dangers of nuclear war and the long-lasting effects of radiation on the natural world. It's a bleak but thought-provoking concept that could make for a truly unique and unforgettable story. And let's not forget about the visual potential of a cyberpunk Godzilla story. Imagine the neon lights and dark alleyways of a decaying metropolis juxtaposed against the sheer scale and power of the Titans. The sleek, otherworldly designs of the Titans, combined with the grungy realism of the human world, could create a truly stunning and unforgettable visual experience. Of course, none of this is possible without first establishing the basics of a cyberpunk world. This means creating a setting that is both futuristic and decaying, a world where advanced technology coexists with poverty and social inequality. We would need to establish the rules of our Titans' existence and how they interact with the world around them. And we would also need to create a cast of characters that are complex and relatable. Despite living in a world that seems so distant and unfamiliar, it won't be easy, but the potential rewards are immeasurable. A cyberpunk Godzilla story could be unlike any other kaiju story ever told. A dark, thought-provoking, and visually stunning exploration of humanity's relationship with nature, technology, and power. It could be the next step in the evolution of the kaiju genre. But what do you think? Are you excited to see a cyberpunk Godzilla story, or do you think it's a doomed idea from the start? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more awesome content. Thank you for watching. Until next time.